Hi, it's Benjamin from Helgo Boss Projects. Today, I want to show you something new that I have been working on lately. Normally, I create plugins for Reaper, but this time I decided to do something that can be used by everyone, not just by Reaper users. It's an app called Champad. At the time of this recording, it's not available yet, but I'm going to publish it in a few months, step by step. Champad is a mobile and desktop app, so it will not just run on your iOS or Android phone or tablet, but also on your PC or Mac. What you currently see is the iOS app running on an iPhone. So what is this app about? Champad is basically an audio player and note-taking app for musicians, with bookmarking, tagging, synchronization and collaboration features. If you ask me about the essence of Champad, I would say it's bookmarking. That means creating markers within potentially very long audio recordings and showing them all in one huge list. Let me show you the basics. There are three main sections in Champad: recordings, markers, and sheets. Recordings is a section in which you put all your audio recordings. There can be a lot in here. Right now it's only a handful. Typically you would make recordings available in Champad by importing them. For example, you can import all files within a folder. That can be a folder on your hard drive, on an SD card, or on a handheld recorder. In the final version there will also be the possibility to record directly within Champad. Another thing that I want to add is synchronization from an existing folder, so that not everything has to be copied into Champad. You can organize recordings into sessions or assign custom tags. Of course, you can also filter by the sessions and tags, so you can easily drill down the list to show only recordings that you currently want to work with. Now imagine you just imported the recordings from the jam session last night. You want to check if there are any interesting musical ideas in there. So the first thing you do is to press play. Let's fast forward a bit. And suddenly you hear a part that you find interesting. What do? You press the heart button. By that you created a marker at exactly this position in this recording. If you pressed it by accident, you can press it again and the marker will disappear. Now imagine you found a part that you really like. What do? You press the heart multiple times. By that you created a marker with a rating. This can later help you to find the most interesting or noteworthy moments. The default marker length is about 15 seconds. When those 15 seconds are over, the heart button turns inactive again. Those 15 seconds is something you can configure, depending on your needs. I'm also planning to add regions with a defined start and end point, but I think for many use cases the endpoint is not that important. Now imagine you go out for a walk. You want to listen to your music and create markers without being forced to look at the screen all the time. Fortunately, Champad has a feature that I call Hike and Mark. The idea is that you take a little Bluetooth remote control with you and press a button whenever you want to mark something. When you have your phone in the pocket and the screen is off, Champad will give acoustic feedback whenever it encounters a marker. Listen. The signal even indicated which rating the marker has. Now let's remove the existing marker by pressing the button. And add a new one with a rating of 3 by pressing the button 3 times. You can also intuitively change the rating of an existing marker. If your remote control has more than just one button, you can of course use it for other functions. I plan to make all buttons freely assignable. Now let's find out where all these markers that we have created actually go. One place where you can see them is above the audio player. Each heart on the timeline stands for one marker. But of course, there you can only find the markers belonging to the current recording. If you want to see all markers within all recordings, you have to navigate to the markers page. This list of markers can get very long. In my personal Champad spaces, I often have thousands of markers. That's why it's very important to be able to filter and sort markers. Let's look at the sorting options that are currently available. Sort by rating is great if you want to have the best music ideas appear on the top. If you want to write a song and you need some inspiration by yourself, this is a good place to start looking. Now let's check how playback works in the marker list. First, you press the play button next to the marker. And then, if playlist mode is enabled, Champad will play the marker over its full length and after that jump to the next marker in the list. By default, this length is 15 seconds. See, it jumped. You can change the playback mode by pressing the rightmost button in the player panel. I just activated teaser mode. In teaser mode, it always plays for 30 seconds until jumping to the next playlist item. Of course, this length is customizable. There is even an infinite mode which lets you play until the end of the file. This is quite useful if you want to hear more of the musical context in which the marker was recorded. Now let's check out tagging. One built-in category of tags that you can add to your markers is moods. There are a few predefined moods, but you can also add your own ones. In the final product, you will also be able to add new categories of tags. At the moment, there are just moods and projects. The purpose of assigning a project is that you maybe have an idea for which song or movie a specific musical idea could be appropriate. And later, when you actually work on that song, you can easily find the idea by using the filter function. In this example, I'm looking for a musical theme which sounds a bit mysterious. In addition, Champad provides a few predefined filter presets. For example, it can easily display all markers that are not yet tagged in case you want to tag them. Now let's assume you want to share a marker with someone else. Maybe ask for a comment, or maybe to let another musician know that a certain passage needs more polishing. There's a practical way to do this, and the other person doesn't even need a Champad account or something like that. All you need to do is to press the share button next to the heart. When you press that, Champad instantly creates a small audio file that contains just the 15 seconds of this marker. You can then leave an optional comment and share it by email, messenger, whatever you like. Of course, I will also add a way to do this communication within Champad, in case you are all using the same app. Now I want to show you the third section in Champad, the page called Sheets. I do that by switching from the mobile app to the desktop app. It's the same app essentially, it just has a different layout, which is more appropriate for large screens. It has the same three sections: recordings, markers, and sheets. Right now you see one of my older Champad spaces, and it has a lot of markers, 2015, and 190 recordings. But yeah, we wanted to look at sheets, the third section. Sheets are just simple documents that you can write, but with an interesting twist. You can embed markers directly into the text and instantly play them by clicking on them. That way you can freely combine notes with music. I'm going to click the marker called Distant. You can also navigate within all markers contained in a sheet. Personally, I use sheets to play with different arrangements of a potential song in a very early stage, even before I start working in the DAW. Or, as in this particular sheet, it's nice to plan gigs. If you use Champad's collaboration features, everyone in your band can see the same sheet, so everyone is on the same page at all times. As you know, it's not just important what a software does, but also how it does things and how well it does them. Champad has a few unique qualities that make it a joy to use. Number 1, it's offline first. The app can work completely offline, no internet is necessary. Number 2, privacy by design. You decide whether you want to store your recordings and data on your own devices or even servers, or if you want to use convenient cloud storage. Number 3, synchronization. You can seamlessly synchronize your recordings and data between different devices. So, how is all of this useful? Let me give you a few typical usage examples. Number 1, discovering, marking and tagging musical ideas. Maybe you play an instrument or you sing and you like to improvise. So you noodle around and play random stuff, maybe for hours, and you record it. Champad gives you a convenient way to listen to your recordings, to mark the best parts in them, and to assign tags. Number 2, reviewing practice sessions. Again, maybe you are a professional or amateur instrumentalist or singer and you record your practice sessions. Champad makes it easy to mark highlights or parts that need improvement, which in turn can make your practice more effective. Number 3, working in groups. Maybe you are in a band, an ensemble, orchestra or choir and you record your rehearsals or jam sessions. Champad automatically makes the recordings available to everyone in your group and lets everyone create and share markers. You can also point out passages that need improvement and send them to people who don't have the app, for example via email or Messenger. Number 4, archiving and organizing your recordings. Maybe you have a big archive of recordings already and you want to do some gold digging or just bring some order into that chaos. With Champad, you can have a large archive of recordings on your computer and can selectively synchronize them to your phone. On your phone, you can listen through them, create markers, assign tags, taking notes, and so on. Now, who's the target audience of Champad? I believe many people can benefit from such an app, depending on their workflow. Hobby musicians, professional musicians, composers, sound artists, music studios, bands, even choirs or orchestras. I can imagine that it could also be interesting for podcasters or journalists. Basically everyone who deals with a lot of audio recordings. Okay, what comes next? If you like the idea of Champad, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I will post updates there. You can also check out my website from time to time, helgoboss.org. There is a dedicated page about Champad already, and if you wish, you can even leave your email address by navigating to the Sign Me Up section. Enter your email address and leave an optional message. For example, if you want to suggest features or have questions. But of course, you can also leave them in the comments section of this YouTube video. I hope you liked this preview of Champad. In any case, thanks for watching and see you next time.